Best ores for every world in the Forge. In the first world, Banana actually has a decent multiplier at a 0.85, which doesn't sound like much, but for the first world, this is actually a really good multiplier, the third highest multiplier in all of the first world. The second best ore in the first world is going to be Iite, because Iite has a 1.1 times multiplier, which is actually much better than Bananite, but just a slightly worse than the next one. Now, obviously, the best one in the first world is going to be Poopite, because Poopite has the highest multiplier at a 1.2x, but it's also really good because it does passive damage if you put it in armor, which can be very good, and it's a worse version of Uranium in a way. The second world has a lot of really great ores, including Mithril, a 3.5x that adds health to armor, Ior, a 4x, which adds more damage for less health on armor and swords, but is still really good. Fire has a 4.5x burning chance on swords. Magma is a 5 times multiplier and has a AoE explosion on hit on weapons. Lightout, you probably know, is a 4.6x with insane moving speed on armor, one of the best ores for moving speed in the game, even in the third world. Demonite is also really insane at a 5.5x and burns enemies on hit if you're using your armor. Darkrai is kind of similar with a 5.7x, but it has a chance to dodge when it's on your armor when an enemy hits you, which can be super duper good if you know how to play the game correctly. And all crystals in the Goblin Cave have a 3x to 5.25x, which is decent. And then Arcane Crystal has the highest multiplier with a 7.5 times x, which is insane for the second world. If you thought the second world has a ton of ores, you're going to be surprised because there's so many more in the third world. The third world is stacked up with a ton of really great ores for armor and weapons alike. Starting on it for the classic, we have Snowite, which is a 10 times x, and it gives attack speed and moving speed, and also slows enemies on sword with a 10 times x, and it's pretty common to come by. The Mosasaur is also insane with a 7 times x. It's not as good, and it has negative swiftness, but it makes up with this with its insane vitality. Now, you already know that Gargantuan is on this list with a 25 multiplier, and it gives insane traits like burn damage and explosions to swords, which makes it one of the best, if not the best ore in all of the game. Now, Heavenite is also really good with a 20x, being the second most multiplier in the game, but it has no traits, very similar to Seraphire, which has a 15x, but no traits. Now, Aetheryte only has an 11.1x, which is actually really good, but also gives great vitality to armor, just a little bit less than the Mosasaurus. Voidstar has a 10 times x and has a higher crit chance and damage on swords, really good. Velshire, you already know, is only a times 5.5x, but it gives insane speed buffs, why all people use it on their armor. And finally, finishing off with Eyesight with a 10 times x, and it freezes enemies on sword hits, which makes it really good. These are the best ores in every single world of the Forge, so make sure you remember this when you go foraging.